What's up, everyone? We recently lost a music legend in Tina Turner last week on May 24th at the age of 83 at her home in Switzerland. Tina suffered for many years from a few long-term illnesses that I won't get into in this video, but if you want to find out all of that, it's just a quick internet search away. I wanted to focus on the positive celebration of her life and music career in this episode of Great Women in Music History. I'll leave all the talk about her very troubled upbringing with her family and marriage and illnesses for somebody else. I just mainly want to focus on her extraordinary music career. There are singers, writers, musicians, and performers in the music industry that successfully get their foot in the door. Then there are stars in the industry, and then there's someone like Tina Turner who will go down as a superstar legend in the industry. She had such a long, successful career where she set the bar for many that came after her, and she really was a unique trailblazer with a unique style and voice. She also had a period in her career where things went downhill and things could have turned out much differently. Tina was one of a kind, and we're going to take a look at some of her history and some of her greatest songs that were gifted to us, creating a great legacy that will last as long as humans do. Alright, so let's get into it. Anna Mae Bullock, who is better known as music superstar Tina Turner, aka the Queen of Rock and Roll, was born on November 26, 1939 in Brownsville, Tennessee. She grew up with her parents and her three sisters in Nutbush, Tennessee. If any of you are familiar with her discography, Nutbush will come up later in one of her most famous songs. Nutbush has an interesting history having to do with her father that worked as an overseer of the sharecroppers, and Tina actually used to pick cotton with her family on the farm where they lived. After her family breaking up and moving away from Nutbush, they moved back to Nutbush and reunited, and at the age of 11, Tina started singing in the choir at the Nutbush Spring Hill Baptist Church. She went a long time between then and when she started her music career because, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's the truth, because of personal issues and heartache that came crashing down on her at the young age of 11 until she graduated Sumner High School in 1958. Upon graduating high school, Tina got a job as a nurse's aide at Barnes Jewish Hospital in St. Louis, Missouri. Tina and her sister would frequent nightclubs in St. Louis, and it's also where her storied career started. In 1957, a 17 or 18-year-old Anna Mae Bullock walked into a nightclub in East St. Louis one night and saw Ike Turner, and she eventually walked out as Tina Turner. Tina saw Ike performing with his band, the Kings of Rhythm, at the Manhattan Club, and by her own words, almost went into a trance watching him perform. Tina asked if she could perform with him in his band, and Ike pretty much just brushed her off. One night during an intermission from Ike's band performing, Tina took matters into her own hands quite literally when she went up on stage, took the mic, and started singing B.B. King's song, You Know I Love You. Ike asked her if she knew more songs, and she sang the rest of the night, and the rest is, as they say, history. Tina said in her book, I, Tina, My Life Story, which was written with Kurt Loder from MTV News fame, I would have been lost in my life at that point without him. I mean, I could do two things, work in a hospital or sing in Ike's band. I didn't know anything else, or anyone else, and I wanted to sing. Tina had a couple of songs in the early 1960s where she had some initial success while with Ike, but fast forward to 1971 when she had major success on the charts, with the hit coming in at number 4 on the Billboard 100 with the cover song of Creedence Clearwater Revival's Proud Mary. Proud Mary has been a Tina Turner staple at her performances for her entire career, and Ike and Tina won a Grammy Award for Best R&B Vocal Performance by a group in 1972 for the song.
Job in the city, working for me every night and day. I never lost 1 minute sleeping, worrying about the way things might have been. The wheel keep on turning, turning, round there keep on burning, burning, rolling, rolling, rolling on the river, rolling, rolling, rolling on the river.
Her next hit came 2 years later at number 22 on the charts with a revisit to her roots and where she grew up on that farm that I mentioned earlier. This song was her biggest hit as a songwriter and was the first song she ever wrote, apparently. The song is Nutbush City Limits.
Maybe I should say fly me. Well, I'm Tina, and I was born in Nutbush City Limits. School
Nutbush City Limits would mark the end of success in terms of Tina and Ike, and they would eventually break up as a music duo in 1976, later divorcing in 1978. After their divorce, venues were suing Ike and Tina because of canceled gigs that they were supposed to perform at together, and it forced Tina to go on tours to pay her debts. In the middle of all that, Tina started her solo career in 1974, and she hit the proverbial brick wall. Her first 4 solo albums from 1974 to 1979 were Tina Turns on the Country, Acid Queen, Rough, and Love Explosion. 3 of those 4 albums didn't even chart, and the album Acid Queen only made it to number 155 on the Hot 100, and although it did better on the R&B charts at number 35, the overall lack of success made her record label United Artists Records part ways with her. In early 1979, Tina took a gig on a variety TV show in Italy called Luna Park, and later that year she continued to tour. Tina continued to perform at hotel ballrooms and clubs in the US, and her career was thought to be all but over until 1983 and what could be considered the start of the greatest comeback in music history. Tina signed with Capitol Records, and her first order of business was releasing a cover of the song Let's Stay Together by Al Green that went to number 26 on the Billboard Hot 100. This led Capitol Records to okay a studio album. I don't know why they didn't okay a studio album before the release of the cover, because why would they sign Tina in the first place? Well, anyway, that album is called Private Dancer, and it peaked at number 3 on the Billboard 200 in 1984. It became Tina's best-selling album all over the world, including going platinum 5 times in the US and 7 times in Canada, totaling over 12 million units worldwide. There were a few songs on this album that I want to feature, but the first one is Tina's biggest selling hit and only number 1 song. This song made Tina the oldest female at the time to have a number 1 hit on the Billboard Hot 100. It was also the number 2 song at the end of 1984, just behind Prince's When Doves Cry. It won Record of the Year, Song of the Year, and Best Female Pop Vocal Performance at the Grammy Awards that year. It was number 134 on Rolling Stone's list of the 500 greatest songs of all time in 2021, and number 38 on RIAA's Songs of the Century list. It was also inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame in 2012. This song sparked her comeback to becoming the queen of rock and roll, and of course, the song is What's Love Got to Do with It?
You must understand, the touch of your hand makes my pulse react. That it's only the thrill of boy meeting girl opposites attract. It's physical, only logical. You must try to ignore that it means more than that. Oh, what's love got to do with it? What's love but a second-hand emotion? What's love got to do with it? Who needs a heart when a heart can be broken?
The second biggest song from the album was co-written by another songwriter I featured in at least one other video I've done, and her name is Holly Knight. She's co-written other hits as well with Mike Chapman, including Animotion's 80s hit Obsession that I featured on my top 20 songs of the 80s video right here, and they also wrote the song Love is a Battlefield by Pat Benatar. I don't think a lot of people actually know that this song was a cover by Tina. The original was done by Holly Knight's band Spider in 1981, and it never charted, but Tina made this song world famous with her raspy voice, bringing it to number 5. Tina also won a Grammy with this song for Best Rock Vocal Performance for a Female. The song is Better Be Good to Me.
Prisoner of your love, entangled in your web, hot whispers in the night. I'm captured by your spell. Captured. Oh yes, I'm touched by this show of emotion. Should I be fractured by your lack of devotion? Should I? Should I? Oh, you better be good to me. That's how it's gotta be now. 'Cause I don't have no use for what you loosely call true. And you better be good to me.
The final song on the Private Dancer album that I wanted to mention is pretty obvious what it's going to be. It's probably the smoothest and sexiest song on the album, and another fact that not too many people probably know is that it was written by Mark Knopfler, who was the lead singer of the band Dire Straits. It was originally supposed to be a track on Dire Straits' 1982 album, Love Over Gold, but Knopfler didn't think the lyrics were suitable for a male singer, and Tina made it her own. The song is Private Dancer.
I wanna make $1 million. I wanna live out by the sea, have a husband and some children. Yeah, I guess I want a family. All the men come in these places, and the men are all the same. You don't look at their faces, and you don't ask their name. I'm your private dancer, a dancer for money. I'll do what you want me to do. I'm your private dancer, a dancer for money, and any old music will do. I'm your private dancer, dancer for money. I'll do what you want me to do. Just a private dancer, a dancer for money, and any old music will do.
The success of the Private Dancer album spurred the filmmaker of the movie Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome to task Tina with singing the power ballad for the third installment of the franchise's soundtrack in 1985. Tina also played the role of Auntie Entity, who was a ruthless leader of a town in a post-apocalyptic world. The song is We Don't Need Another Hero, Thunderdome.
Out of the ruins, out from the wreckage, can't make the same mistake this time. We are the children, the last generation. We are the ones they left behind. And I wonder when we are ever gonna change. Living under the fear till nothing else remains. We don't need another hero. We don't need to know the way home. All we want is life beyond the Thunderdome.
The next song isn't a Tina Turner song, but it's a Tina Turner song. I couldn't leave this song out of this video because it's one of my favorite songs of all time, and it has to be my favorite duet of all time. I also included it in one of my videos on songs with love in the title. Tina's voice just adds so much to the song, and without her, it really isn't complete, and the energy in the song goes unmatched. The song is It's Only Love by Bryan Adams from 1985.
If your heart has been broken, hard words have been spoken, it ain't over, but it's only love. And if your life ain't worth living, and you're ready to give it, just remember, baby, that it's only love. Yeah, that's all. That's all it is, baby. Only love, yeah. It's only love. You can live without the aggravation. You gotta wanna win. You gotta wanna win. Keep looking back in desperation. Over and over and over again. It's only love, baby. It's only love, baby.
Tina went on to have more success with her album Break Every Rule at the end of 1986, but her next big hit didn't come until 1989 on her album called Foreign Affair. This is another signature song for Tina and probably comes in right behind What's Love Got to Do with It, in my opinion. It's a song once again written by Holly Knight and Mike Chapman and originally recorded by Bonnie Tyler in 1988 of Total Eclipse of the Heart fame. It was actually first offered to Paul Young, who sang Every Time You Go Away, which was written by Daryl Hall and originally recorded by Hall & Oates, but Paul Young passed on this song. The song title is often mistaken as Simply the Best, but it's just simply the best. The last song I wanted to honor Tina with in this video was her last hit song from 1993 that came in at number 9 off of her album, What's Love Got to Do With It. This song doesn't really get the attention that most of her other hits get, but I think it's one of her best, and I couldn't leave it out of the video. This song was originally intended for Sade, but she passed it on to Tina. I love Sade, but honestly, this song was meant for Tina's voice, and I couldn't really picture anyone else singing it. The song is I Don't Want to Fight.
There's a pale moon in the sky. Can you make your wishes on? Oh, like the light in your eyes, the one I built my dreams upon. It's not there any longer. Something happened somewhere and we both know why. But me, I'm getting stronger. We must stop pretending I can't live this life. I don't care who's wrong or right. I don't really wanna fight no more. Too much talking, babe. Let's sleep on it tonight. I don't really wanna fight no more. This is time for letting go.
Tina Turner has sold upwards of 150 million records worldwide, has been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame twice as a duo with Ike Turner and as a solo artist, won a Kennedy Center Honors Award, won 12 Grammys. She was the first black artist and female on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine and was actually on the second ever cover of the magazine. And VH1 ranked her number 2 on the 100 Greatest Women in Rock and Roll behind Aretha Franklin. She's had her legs insured for millions of dollars, and Mattel even released a Barbie doll in her likeness. I could list 1,000 other accolades over Tina's career, but it's always been about the music, and she's left us some of the greatest music ever with one of the greatest singing voices ever. The only thing I have left to say is long live the Queen of Rock and Roll.